Hey Race, what's worth streaming in January 2022, which is why you can skip Netflix at a month without Netflix? It really is possible. Streaming subscribers saw a fire hose of new content at the end of 2021. But that will slow to a trickle in January, with just a handful of major releases scheduled. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, since it will allow viewers to catch up on what they've missed. And perhaps save some money by cutting back on services. In fact, for less than $25, you can get by perfectly fine with just 2 services in January, and neither of them is Netflix. Each month, this column rates the major streaming services as a play, pause, or stop, similar to investment analysts' traditional ratings of buy, hold, and sell, and picks the best content to help you make your monthly decisions. As we've previously mentioned, consumers can take full advantage of cord-cutting, though a churn and return strategy. That's adding and dropping streaming services each month, and all it takes is good planning. Keep in mind that a billing cycle starts when you sign up, not necessarily at the beginning of a month. Also keep an eye out for lower price tiers, limited time discounts, free trials, and cost-saving bundles. There are a lot of offers out there, but the deals don't last forever. Hey Race, a look at what's coming to the various streaming services in January 2022. And what's really worth the monthly subscription fee. HBO Max with a loaded lineup. HBO Max appears to be the only streaming service actually trying in January. Nearly 2.5 years since its first season aired, the envelope-pushing teen drama Euphoria is finally back for its second season. Season 2 will see Rue still battling drug addiction, struggling with mental illness, and searching for healthier relationships, with ex-girlfriend Jules still not completely out of the picture. It's not always an easy or fun watch, but its unflinching portrayal of modern life as a teenager is never not compelling. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%. On the less sobering front, John Cena stars in Peacemaker, an 8-episode spin-off of James Gunn's gleefully violent The Suicide Squad movie. Gunn directs much of the series too, which acts as both a prequel and sequel, set after the events of the movie but revealing the origins of the superhero who is dedicated to achieving peace at any cost, including killing anyone who gets in his way. Speaking of killing, Search Party is back for its 5th and final season, which sees Dory very much alive after the carnage of season 4 and now apparently leading a cult with Jeff Goldblum, while her hilariously self-absorbed friends wonder what's going on. The dark comedy series, which originally focused on a group of friends searching for a missing woman, has reinvented itself every season and become one of the most surprising and bingeable shows anywhere on TV in recent years. There's also The Gilded Age, Downton Abbey creator Julian Fellowes' new historical drama series set in 1880s New York City starring Louisa Jacobson, and featuring Carrie Coon, Cynthia Nixon, and Christine Baranski. Season 2 of Danny McBride's televangelist family comedy The Righteous Gemstones, the special Harry Potter 20th anniversary, Return to Hogwarts, which features a cast reunion, and the 5th and final season of the complex and compelling Italian crime drama Gomorrah. The brilliant limited series Station 11 is set to conclude, with 2 episodes January 6th and the finale January 13th. Watch it. It's a mesmerizing, mysterious, and ultimately hopeful post-apocalyptic story about survivors of a staggering tragedy who have come together and, instead of killing each other, formed a community dedicated to the lasting power of art. And there are new episodes every Thursday of The Disappointing Sex and the City spin-off and Just Like That. HBO Max is also bolstering its TV library with the classic hospital drama, and the one-time Fox sci-fi series Fringe, along with seasons 1 and 2 of the Epic's Batman prequel Pennywise. Who's HBO Max for HBO fans and movie lovers. Play, pause, or stop. Even without new Warner Brothers movies streaming the same day they hit theaters, ATT's T, plus 2.22%, HBO Max is still the #1 streaming service in terms of quality. Yes, it's the most expensive, but you get what you pay for. It's also got the best movie library of any service. Disney Plus, Disney's DIS minus 0.35% streaming service, is resting its January laurels firmly on the head of its new blockbuster series The Book of Boba Fett. And that's probably okay. The 7-episode Mandalorian spin-off, showing the seedier side of the Star Wars universe, premieres December 29th and will drop new episodes every Wednesday through February 9th, with Temuera Morrison reprising his role as the fan-favorite bounty hunter. This should be a must-see for at least 2 generations of Star Wars fans. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%, but aside from that, the slate of originals is sparse, with only the 6th Ice Age animated movie, The Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, and the streaming debut of Marvel's Eternals, the star-studded movie about a band of immortal beings who have watched over Earth for eons. The movie opened in theaters in early November to mixed reviews, but there are also some still fresh releases to catch up on, such as the heartwarming animated musical Encanto and Hawkeye. The fun and relatively low-stakes superhero spin-off series. Who's Disney Plus for families with kids and hardcore Star Wars and Marvel fans. For those not in those groups, Disney's library can be lacking. Play, pause, or stop. It's hard to recommend a streaming service for just one series, but since that series is the Book of Boba Fett, and since Disney Plus is pretty much a must-have for families, it gets the green light. Netflix. If you've been tempted to try life without Netflix, NFLX, -4%. This may be the month to finally give it a shot. After releasing a ridiculous number of big-name series and movies in recent months, the streaming giant will take a pause, relatively speaking, in January. Netflix's one major release is the hit series Ozark, which is back for its final season after a nearly 2-year layoff. But annoyingly, its 4th season will be split in 2, with 7 episodes dropping in January and the rest coming later in the year. The dark crime drama will see once reluctant money launderers Marty and Wendy Bird now firmly entrenched with the cartel, and, dare we say, Breaking Bad. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube a frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%. Then there's The Woman in the House Across the Street from The Girl in the Window, a new dark comedy series that satirizes domestic thrillers like The Woman in the Window and The Girl on the Train, starring Kristen Bell. There's potential for something good here, but ITLL have to walk a fine line to avoid being a one-note spoof. Also, hey race, what's coming to Netflix in January 2022, and what's leaving? Netflix also has the 3rd and final season of Ricky Gervais' bittersweet comedy Afterlife, Archive 81, a supernatural horror series from producer James Wan, season 3 of the Stay Celibate or You Lose dating show Too Hot to Handle, and Getting Curious with Jonathan Van Ness, a new educational series from the Queer Eye co-star, which delves into topics he's interested in learning more about. There are also a pair of original movies, Munich, The Edge of War, a pre-World War II thriller about a plot to expose Hitler's plans and force Britain to abandon its appeasement policy. At the infamous 1938 conference between the Nazi leader and British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, and Home Team, starring Kevin James as a disgraced NFL coach who takes over a 6th-grade football team, based on the true story of the Saints' Sean Payton. To be fair, there are also some good late December releases to catch up on, such as new seasons of Cobra Kai, Queer Eye, Emily in Paris, and The Witcher. Who's Netflix for fans of buzzworthy original shows and movies? Play, pause, or stop. Pause and think it over. Ozark fans might be happy for its return, but the rest of Netflix's lineup looks pretty meager. One option, keep subscribing and catch up on December releases. Another option, drop Netflix for a month and see what it feels like. You won't be missing much. Apple TV Plus Apple AAPL, -2.66%, hopes to have a new hit on its hands with the upcoming comedy/mystery The After Party, about a murder that takes place at a high school reunion. There's enough talent attached to this series that there's really no excuse for it not being good. From producers Chris Miller, Phil Lord to a roster of stars that includes Tiffany Haddish, Sam Richardson, Ike Barinholtz, Ben Schwartz, Ilana Glazer, and Dave Franco. The first 3 episodes will drop on the 28th, and the trailer looks promising. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube a frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%. There's also the 3rd season of Servant, the creepy psychological thriller produced by M. Night Shyamalan, Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, a reboot of the beloved classic series about colorful musical Fraggles from the Jim Henson Company, and the tragedy of Macbeth, starring Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand in director Joel Coen's heavily stylized adaptation of the Shakespeare classic. The movie opened in December to outstanding reviews, and if you got an Apple device over the holidays that came with a free trial for TV Plus, take advantage of it and check out Ted Lasso, For All Mankind, Mythic Quest, Dickinson, Swagger, and Foundation, for starters. Who's Apple TV Plus for? It offers a little something for everyone, but not necessarily enough for anyone, though it's getting there. Play, pause, or stop. Pause. A familiar refrain, Apple's new stuff looks good, but is it enough to justify paying for this month? Hulu Kids, there was once a popular sitcom called How I Met Your Mother. And even though its finale was awful and kinda ruined the series' entire run for some, there were plans for a female-led spin-off. That was 2014. 8 years later, after 2 more attempts in 2016 and 2017 failed in development, How I Met Your Father will finally premiere. Hilary Duff stars this time around as a single young woman in New York City, with an older version of herself narrating the story of how she met her true love, and all the romantic misadventures that preceded that. 2 episodes will drop on its premiere date, with new eps every following week. But based on the trailer, expectations should be kept low. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube a frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100% more. Hey Race, what's coming to Hulu in January 2022 and what's leaving? Hulu also has the teen comedy movie Sex Appeal and a slew of network shows streaming a day after they air, including ABC's new civil rights drama series Women of the Movement, a new season of The Bachelor, the new grade school sitcom Abbott Elementary, and the final season premieres of NBC's This Is Us and ABC's Blackish. Who's Hulu for? TV lovers. There's a deep library for those who want older TV series, and next day streaming for many current network and cable shows. Play, pause, or stop. Pause. There's value in the lineup of next day streaming shows, and Hulu's vast library, but HIMIF is a wait-and-see prospect. Amazon Prime Video. It's a pretty slow month for Amazon's AMZN, minus 1.89%. Prime Video 2, with the best new offering probably a hero. A thriller from Iranian director Isker Farhadi that drew raves at last summer's Cannes Film Festival. It's about a man imprisoned because of his debts who schemes to convince his creditor to let him off the hook, only to have it all spin out of control. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube of frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%. There's also The Tender Bar, directed by George Clooney and starring Ben Affleck as a bartender who takes his 9-year-old nephew under his wing, based on the memoir by J.R. Moringer, though it's not getting very good early reviews, as we see it. A new series about autistic 20-something roommates, from creator Jason Katims, and Hotel Transylvania. Transformania, the 4th installment in the popular animated franchise. Also see, Hey Race, what's coming to Amazon's Prime Video in January 2022. Meanwhile, the excellent and underwatched series The Expanse ends its 6-season run with a series finale January 14th. And they're also the recently completed first season of the fantasy epic Wheel of Time. Who's Amazon Prime Video for? Movie lovers, TV series fans who value quality over quantity. Play, pause, or stop. Aside from the last 2 eps of The Expanse, there's nothing particularly compelling on the way. Paramount Plus January is also pretty light for Paramount Plus, aside from its live sports lineup. The animated Star Trek Prodigy returns with the final 10 episodes of its first season, which premiered in October. Season 2 has already been greenlit. There's also The Envoys, an intriguing Spanish-language drama series about a team of Vatican investigators in Mexico searching for the truth behind claims of a miracle, who stumble upon a much deeper mystery. Meanwhile, new episodes of the Yellowstone prequel 1883, a pretty decent throwback western, will stream every Sunday. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube of frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%, undefined. Update, never mind, the Grammys have been postponed due to COVID, but Paramount Plus is fairly loaded with sports, with a full slate of college basketball, NFL games, PGA golf, international soccer, and CONCACAF Men's World Cup qualifying, including a key USA-Canada match January 30th. Who's Paramount Plus for? Gen X cord cutters who miss live sports and familiar Viacom CBS VIAC, minus 1% broadcast and cable shows. Play, pause, or stop. Unless you need it for live sports, there's just not enough coming in January to make it worth your while. Peacock mirrors Paramount Plus in January, shy on new series, but with a good live sports slate. Wolf Like Me is an intriguing new horror/rom-com series starring Isla Fisher and Josh Gad as a couple dealing with grief, baggage, and secrets in their new relationship. There's also the animated Supernatural Academy, a YA fantasy series based on the best-selling novel. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube of frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%. The 6th and final season of This Is Us will start streaming January 12th, a week after its debut on NBC. It'll be joined by a pair of promising NBC sitcoms, American Auto, from Justin Spitzer, creator of Superstore, and starring Anna Gasteyer as the new CEO of an automaker, and Grand Crew, about a group of young black professionals who hang out at a wine bar. New episodes will stream every week, after first airing on NBC. And for what it's worth, if HBO Max's The Gilded Age sparks some Downton Abbey nostalgia, Peacock has all 6 seasons in its library. On the sports front, Peacock has Sunday Night Football, which concludes January 9th as the NFL's regular season ends, a full slate of Premier League soccer, the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, and a full lineup of World Cup skiing and snowboarding, Supercross, and WWE events. Who's Peacock for? If you like network and basic cable TV and don't mind ads, the free version of Peacock is great. If you're eligible for premium through a Comcast CMCSA, plus 0.06% or Cox cable subscription, it's also a perfectly fine free addition. Play, pause, or stop. If you're a cord cutter who still needs live sports, it's a solid choice, and there's a good amount of content on the paid tiers. but it's not essential for everyone. Discovery Plus actually has a pretty appealing lineup in January. Mike Rowe returns with a revival of his longtime Discovery Channel hit Dirty Jobs, shining a light on the workers who provide the essential jobs that keep American running. That's not the only classic show getting rebooted by Discovery Plus. Ghost Hunters returns with a new season, with the original TAPS team of paranormal investigators, armed with new technology, returning to some of their favorite spooky location. Meanwhile, crikey, it's the Irwins returns for another season of Australian wildlife adventures, and high-end real estate meets drama in the reality spin-off Selling the Hamptons, which is basically a repackaged version of Netflix's cancelled $1 Million Beach House. Div YouTube height, 0, position relative, padding bottom of 56.25%. Div YouTube of frame position, absolute, left, 0, top, 0, width, 100%, height, 100%, who's Discovery Plus for? Cord cutters who miss their unscripted TV or who are really into 90 Day Fiancé. Play, pause, or stop. Sorry, Discovery Plus is still fantastic for background TV, but there's not much that's essential viewing. It's really only a good option for those who are HGTV/Food Network/TLC superfans who've cut the cord completely. If you still have cable or get Discovery Disca, minus 1.12% channels through a live streaming service like YouTube TV or Hulu Live, it's just not necessary.